Hi, everybody. You've never actually met Keith. We did this on Facebook last night, so if you go check out the first interview, that's where the questions are very, very firsthand. I'm going to ask him similar questions, but I still want to keep it very open and very, right off the bat, just fresh. Like I said, so the very first version would be the best one if you want to see, his first time. It was so awesome. So basically, I wanted to bring him on to show you guys that men can do these programs too, that you can have good results from them, and kind of give you another person's perspective. I do have several clients that have enjoyed all of the programs that we offer, but this one is just in particular special to me because it's just my support system. Keith, why don't you go ahead and you can kind of tell them what got you started with Lift 4.
So pretty much what got me started with Lift 4, excuse me, was the fact that you were doing it, frog in my throat, was the fact that you had been already doing it for a couple weeks, and I saw that you were enjoying it. You were getting up as early as I was, so it's like, hey, I can do it as well,
right?
And we can work out together. And I noticed the weights, what we have, they weren't too heavy, and what they were using wasn't really that heavy. I think the average was around 30 to 35 pounds. So the fact that we had 20 and 25 pounds, I thought, oh yeah, I can do this. After the first couple weeks, I definitely was sore, trying to get used to the routine, the repetitions, and just the different exercises they were doing. So even once I got used to that, though, it's like, okay, how can I push myself harder? And, working on form and taking my time, slowing it down, definitely made it harder. Yeah. And it just kind of fit in my routine because usually I would then go run.
Yeah.
Or whether it's 3 to 5 miles or even 6 to 8, whatever it was on that particular day. So it would get me going in the morning, especially on the couple days when I couldn't do PT. That would be the only exercise I would have other than having Shakeology or my normal breakfast to get me going in the morning. So it was an added bonus.
I want to throw in there, we get up probably 4 o'clock because you have to be in formation by 6:30. You're there by 6, but you got to be in formation by 6:30, right?
Right.
So,
right.
Yeah. So we get up early, and the workouts are only 30 minutes. 40 is the max time, and that's with the talking at the end. So, one of the things I asked you yesterday was just what have you enjoyed about it? Why did you want to do this? I didn't ask that question.
Yeah. So why I wanted to do it is I needed a change up because what we had at the base, the gyms didn't open up as early. They got really crowded. So trying to do something consistently was really hard. And then the weights and what we could use over by actually where I work at, again, it was the same thing. They were usually being utilized right away, so it just wasn't the opportunity there consistently enough to do anything.
Right.
So doing it at home, you can't beat doing it at home.
Yeah, for sure.
You just got to get up, get used to that routine, and then get into it. I think once you just got into that routine and the routine I already had established, it was fairly easy to do that.
Yeah.
And I just enjoyed it because the workouts were good. They didn't overdo it.
Right.
And they isolated certain muscle groups, and I knew it was going to take time, and I was okay with that. I wasn't expecting results in a week or two bulking up. It's taking that time, and it's obviously paid off.
Yeah, it's one of those things where when you start doing it, you don't realize that at-home fitness is very effective because this the stereotype of, oh, it's just at-home fitness, the just part. A lot of people say that, oh, it's just at-home fitness. You can't really get a workout doing that. And that's not even true. The whole thing is because it's at home, you have to be even more dedicated because it's real easy to snuggle in bed and hit snooze and not go. It saves a lot of time, though. That's the one thing. Especially around here, we don't get a ton of snow, but, when we do, it'll be nice because then we don't have to drive in it or, the gyms close on the holidays, things like that. There's all these other factors, of course, but for relevance for right now, it's just mainly been just convenient.
And, we've done it a few times at the end of a day or on a weekend. We need that stress, but I don't even think it's really for that to just the convenience at home so you can do it to relieve that day. It's to get your day started. So however your morning is, whatever your routine is to get you going, to me, this would just add to that if you want to take that time. Yes, it's going to take that time and dedication and motivation to do it. So you got to be willing to do it first, because if you set a goal with a purpose and direction, well, how am I going to do it? Well, you got to have that motivation and dedication to get up to do it consistently.
Yeah.
You do it consistently, it pays off. And I've been doing it for 2 months, and it's gone by quick, and it's definitely paid off.
Yeah, it's definitely, the results are there. That's the thing. Like, I think I was blown away with the results I was getting, and then when he started, so it takes about, when you're first getting started, it takes about it's like a 2 to 3 week delay. Like, you at first you're like, okay, like I'm sore and I'm feeling it, but I'm not seeing like what I thought I was going to see. It's not some drastic change. You like have to take pictures, because that was how I noticed like my changes. Like, it was in the inches and in the weight, but it was like really like it was that over time. It just took time to see, and the pictures to see it.
Yeah, and I think the same thing for me. I knew it was going to take some time, and again, you had to get used to the routine. Your muscles, everything else had to get used to just that. What I'm trying to say now.
The stress. It's
Well,
technically stress on your body, but
yeah, I guess the stress on your body, but just that muscle memory. Okay?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I've done it a couple times,
Yeah.
but I'm not having my body get content like, oh, I'm doing these again for the 5th time,
Right.
I've done this and that.
Yeah.
No, it's a different approach. So you slow it down, you do whatever you can to just make it that much harder.
Yeah.
Whether you go up in weight or maybe you do a few extra reps or whatever.
Well, it's actually the speed too, because it's slower during the rep itself, but your breaks are much faster.
Right.
So you're
True.
sweating, you're dying,
Yeah.
like a little bit.
And I can definitely attest to that, because there's been times where I'll tell you to pause it because I need an extra 10 to 15 second break because I've hit muscle failure.
Yeah.
And when you hit muscle failure in anything, you need that extra little break. That's convenient where you just pause it.
Yeah.
And
so he's in the military. So just so you guys, because you guys might not, I'm sure you know that by now, but because you follow my story, so you probably know he is. But so he's had really intense workouts before. So how do you feel like those compare to what you? And I didn't ask this question.
Yeah.
So how do you feel?
I think it's definitely on a different level.
Yeah.
Because whether we do our Big 6 PT, or we just go out there and run, or we, kind of ruck march or whatever. So it's going to test different parts of your body. It's going to put that stress in different parts of your body. Not saying it's easier, or I'm not saying it's harder, but I say it's right up there.
Yeah.
And again, I think it's what you put into that workout itself.
That's
to
true.
me, that makes that difference, because we can have a hard workout here, whether it's back and bicep, and then I can go run, and partway through the run, I'm already feeling it from that.
From the back of bicep,
Yeah, and then I get done with my run, and I'm just like, okay, I'm done. I've hit my limit for the day, but then it's made me feel good later on, and just consistently do that, it gets easier to handle.
Yeah.
And I feel much better, so that I can push myself harder. Whether it's running or doing this, I could push myself harder. And I've noticed through those 8 weeks that a lot of the weight and a lot of the reps aren't as difficult, or I don't get as smoked so quickly.
Right, but you're ready to go up in weight, but it's still gets you.
Oh yeah. I mean, we did it just the other day, and I didn't even hit the second rep, and I was already feeling it.
Yeah, well, especially the burnout rounds. The burnout rounds kick me down, like they're hard. And you do abs, you do core at the end, core component at the very end every single time. So it doesn't matter, like you're still doing it every single time.
Yeah, so
you definitely get that good definition. I think that's where my definition's coming from. So how do you feel about Shakeology? Do you like it?
Yeah, it's good on my system.
Yeah.
I have somewhat of a sensitive system at times as I've gotten older. So I already watch a lot of what I eat that maybe I know will bother me or I don't have so much. But with that Shakeology, it's very, I guess, smooth tasting. And it's not grainy.
Yeah,
it doesn't. It fills you up. It doesn't overfill you. It doesn't kind of make you just feel like, ooh, You
Right,
know?
right.
And plus, I just get that energy. It fills me up. And plus, what I have for breakfast usually in the morning, I eat pretty healthy, oatmeal or something with oatmeal or just plain. And I'm okay with that because it works and it fills me up and it gets me going for that day. So between that, the Shakeology, and then I just start drinking a normal amount of water,
Yep.
it gets me through the day, and I can tell how much better I feel versus when I don't necessarily have it and I've been at work beforehand. I can definitely tell that from my stress level, my work ethic, everything has changed since I've started taking that because of how it affects my body.
That's pretty cool to hear. Like, I didn't ask that question exactly yesterday, so it's good to hear. I like asking these questions because it's one thing for me to tell you and do the research and show you, but to have somebody that's not that he's an outsider, but he is an outsider, so
All these people
you know,
the way back.
I know, right? So that's the cool thing is like he can attest to these things too, and like that's just cool to me.
Yeah, and
so.
when we first got here and the workload I had and what I was doing, coming home late at night, going there early, and just day after day, I definitely would have probably benefited from having that stuff a lot earlier.
Yeah.
Probably would have changed my mindset and just not that my health was in jeopardy, it's just my stress level and my fatigue level, and because all I had was really the running. So the fact that I've been doing this along with that has just made my work a lot easier to handle and bear and adjust to.
That's good to hear too, and I think it's just because of all the ingredients that are in there. Like, there's a lot of ingredients that actually counterbalance stress, like the different hormones that are produced in our body. So it helps aid with that process to where it's slowed down.
Yeah, and it tastes good. I mean, you have a vanilla Shakeology. You can add a banana. I like blueberries or berries.
Yeah.
You can't beat that.
No. So the other reason why I brought him on was because we're running a guys versus girls or men versus couples, style. It originally started because he wanted to run one with his guys at work. Which there is an incentive. I'm not going to announce the incentive. You got to get signed up and ask me, because it's a definite, you want this. It's going to be pretty awesome. I'll say it like that.
I got a couple guys at work. Hopefully this next week.
Yep.
I talked to a few towards the end of last week. So.
So if you guys are interested, this is the time to do it. We're really going to be going all in because it's the start before the craziness. Before the holidays happen and you got a million family members around you, you might as well take some time for you, get reset, and go with it. And once you get started, that's the hardest part, is getting started. Because once you get in the routine, anything becomes easy, and you get that nice time frame too. I think it's the time frame. It's 8 weeks, seems like a long time, but it goes by so fast.
No, it didn't seem very long, and then next I was in week 5, and then literally this last week, that's it. And couple more days of just the rest of the challenge, and then I'm on to the next challenge group for 60 plus days.
Yep.
And I think that's a really good length of time. 30 days you would think is ideal, but I think that depends on where you are mentally and physically and where you want to go in that 30 days. I think in today's world and just how we're all busy, coming and going, doing those different activities, traveling, whatever your work schedule is 60 days seems to be a little bit more feasible, because you're going to have those rest days, of course, once or twice a week, or, middle of the week and maybe on a weekend. But if you're traveling, you're going to do that, and you take this with you because you can do it on your phone, but you can't necessarily always take your weights, in the airport, all that. So I think 60 days just gives you that time to where you can get into it and start seeing that change, and it slowly goes up, and you're not going to necessarily hit that plateau so quickly and then work even harder that you would want to get a 30-day goal and that and then I think you could push yourself harder and maybe
that last half.
That last half. So I personally, I think 60 days is much better, and it goes so quickly as much as 30 days would.
Yeah, and the good thing is there is a modified version on there. So if you can't have the weights with you, you can take a resistance band and do all the same movements, get the similar workout. It's not weights, but and that's the thing too, is your full body weight is it's hard. You don't think it is, but it is. Yeah. But yeah, that is the good thing. Like, and it's only 4 days a week. So typically when you go on vacation, unless you're just really blessed and you can go for like weeks at a time, you're not gone for that long. So you can switch up the days and do it. It's like switches we've had to switch up the schedule, the workout schedule. Sometimes you just have to change a day, and that's the good thing. When you're only doing 4 days, like, it's pretty easy to get it to where you want it to be.
And that's why I like doing it, because on Tuesdays and Wednesdays I can't really run anymore because I just have meetings right there first thing after formation, so I don't get that PT time. So doing that exercise beforehand, that, like I said, that gets me going for the day. Otherwise, I'd feel if I didn't do it. So.
Well, that's pretty much it, guys. We just wanted to, like I said, come on here. It was really awesome last night. We did a really long, interview. It was fun. He gave me a hard time, said I owe him 5% now,
It's 10.
Yeah. Negotiations were made. So, anyways. 10%. So we just want to invite you. Like, we do this together, and I think that it's great when families can bring that together, couples, families, like all that fun stuff. It's just fun. I know Delicia believes the same thing. She runs the business the same way. She loves it. So, anyways, that's it, guys. Mm-hmm. You guys have a great weekend. Enjoy the rest of this month because it's almost over, and we'll get you going in October.
All right, see you guys then.
Bye. See if I can do this without. There you go.